Oh, 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 beep beep ba da 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 dee lulu da dee 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 da 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 do do da da do. Mm, 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 mm. Hey, yeah, yo, 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 how you doing? How you going? Hope everything's going well. If you're doing fine and you're feeling grand, then you better shake your hands, oh yeah. Yo, hey, mm-hmm. Oh, motherfucker. Yeah, there is a stream today. That's probably my thing now. So, we are going to talk about the Sony stuff. We're also going to talk about the Nintendo stuff. And I'll explain what happened. So, last night, I had intentions to stream. And then I kind of got into like a chip. Okay, so first thing, I also want to wait until Lightning's here because I want to shout him out personally for a few different things, um, and then kind of give like a little mini announcement with it. But the main reason why I didn't stream last night wasn't because I was sick or tired or anything. Primarily, what it was is that I was in like mid conversation talking about some other stuff, and we were just talking. It was me and like the pots, like me, KG, Tyrone, Polly, Nessa, that group. TSS. We were talking and chilling, and then like for some reason it ended up bleeding into like us playing Jackbox, but it wasn't really. It was kind of just friend time. It wasn't really like stream time because I said if I was gonna stream, I'll do Final Fantasy. And realistically, time just got away from me. But like by the time we finished doing that, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't go to sleep at 2. I stayed up until like 4 or 5 because we were playing Street Fighter. So like realistically, it was me hanging out for like an unnecessary amount of time, and I ended up missing the stream day, and I didn't message you guys like I should have. So I do want to apologize for that. What I might do is I might do this stream and then wait a few hours and then do a Final Fantasy stream today, so that you guys still get a stream. I don't think I'm working this week much at all, but just in case, because the problem is that even if I'm not working, usually my stream schedule gets fucked up anyway because Monday is the Juices Loose podcast, and then I may or may not be on the Pokepot podcast that happens at 10. So that's like 4 hours just of podcasting that day, which happens tomorrow. Tuesday I'm usually recording for Tyrone's channel, which is with the Diamond playthrough that's just being uploaded, and then I'm recording parts for the Black playthrough that should be getting uploaded soon-ish. And then Wednesday I don't think we're doing Polly's rival cast, so I could do that then. So what I might do is if I don't do anything tonight, I definitely will try to do something Wednesday because Wednesday is like my only other dead day, and then Thursday, Friday, all it all depends because like I said, work is what's going to be the main thing. I don't know how my job is going to be moving forward because like I'm being notified like by the day. Like it's not like where the hell did I just put that? Okay, it's not like my job is notifying me like a week in advance. It's like tomorrow morning I gotta get up and see what they want me doing. If they got me doing some type of work, that fucks up my whole day, and then I get home and the only thing I can do really is get ready for the Juices Loose podcast. So I haven't even really been playing games like that. Like I still wanted to finish Dragon Quest like a few weeks ago because I wanted to pick up Sakura Wars, which first came out what was that, last Friday, I want to say. Soccer Wars I still want to get. I still want to get Resident Evil 3 and play that. There's a bunch of games I still want to get. And then fuck, at the end of this month, you got Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. And then you got Shantae. And then you also got like the Borderland games, which are games that I've been wanting to get into because I like the art style for Borderlands. I just don't like the idea of a shooter. Like I don't like first person shooters. And then just a lot of shit. I understand it's fine, but I still like to have the content out there. So we do have a good number of things that happen. For one thing, Indivisible came out on Switch. What was that? That was the 28th. So what was that? Like Friday or Thursday? Thursday. Thursday we got Indivisible on Switch. From what I've seen, it runs well. I think the main problem with it is that it like the fucking frame rate isn't great. I mean, not frame rate. The audio compression isn't great. That's what I mean to say. It seems to hang around 59 and 60 like it's supposed to, but the audio compression I heard is kind of bad. That's another game I want to kind of get into. And then we had some news about Nomura talking about, was it Nomura who was doing the interview? Let me make sure. It was a Final Fantasy VII remake interview, but I don't know if it was Nomura. I was a little bit. Yeah, it was Nomura. Yeah, it was Nomura. They were talking about it. And Nomura had said some shit along the lines of, "Oh yeah, and then the DLC for Pokemon Sword next month. That's a whole other thing." But Nomura apparently made comments talking about how what he would like to do for future parts of Final Fantasy VII Remake is to bring out like a bunch of smaller parts so it can get out quicker, which is concerning. In some ways, it's better because I think one of the biggest problems with the remake is that it has bad pacing issues because it's still, for the most part, retelling the events of like the original 7 game with some new material towards the end of it and sprinkled throughout the game. But it also has a bunch of padding. So splitting it into many parts to make them shorter and bite sized to come out, it's cool because it should fix the pacing problems. But at that point, are people really going to want to pay $60 for that? I don't know. I don't fucking know. And that's realistically, I don't. I mean, you guys have heard my piece when it comes to talking about that remake. Like I have no interest in it whatsoever. More than likely, if it ever gets played, it'll get played as like a donation game. In which case, I'll play it just for that reason. Now, I wanted to wait until Lightning was here, primarily because Lightning has been gifting me a bunch of fucking games on Steam. I now have Street Fighter V Arcade Edition on Steam because of him. I have Batman. I have the Batman collection on Steam because of him. What else? I think Goat Simulator was another game. He gave me Injustice 2. Um, he gave me a good amount of shit. I'm trying to see what else. Yeah, Street Fighter 5. Oh, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. The Batman collection. Injustice 2. Goat Simulator. I think those are all the main ones. Everything else I think I bought. Yeah. So I have like a good chunk of stuff from him. So if you want to add me on Steam, my Steam name should be in the description. But if that isn't good, I can put like my Steam code number in here so you guys can have it. So if you want to add me on Steam, you can do that. Because I have a bunch of fighting games that realistically I need to use. It does feel full game. I mean, I already know the ending of the remake, like how it's essentially almost like it's more of a reimagining. That's my code for Steam. So if you want to add me on Steam, you can do that. And if you have Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter Cross Tekken or Injustice, we can play those games. But I do want to give a special shout out to him. So thank you, Lightning. I'll say it again when you show up in the chat later, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it in advance. Thank you, Lightning, for all the Steam game donations. And thanks Sourcine for all the general donations that he usually does. Because I think he spent like a ridiculous amount of money just donating to the channel. So I appreciate that. And I guess one last thing before we get into the topics proper is that I did upload a video that will be on YouTube probably in the coming days. But if you want to watch it in advance, you can watch it on Vlare. So I'm going to leave that link in the chat so you know. Oh, thanks for the support, Clocked It. See you later, bro. So I'll paste that. So if you want to watch an anime related video, you can watch that now on Vlare. Okay, and I think Typesat just added me, so let me go to my friends list and accept him. Sweet. All right, cool. I'll probably leave the friends list up on my screen so I can see it moving forward. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the Nintendo Direct. I feel like that's probably the easier thing to talk about. So apparently, there are rumors going around that Nintendo's development cycle kind of got fucked up with the whole C issue, and the C issue has caused them to be late on their development, which is why there's rumors going around that their Nintendo Direct for June got pushed back. So we'll probably still get one, but it'll probably be like in the latter half of the summer due to the fucking delays. And part of the issue is also the other part of the rumor is that like they've supposedly already told the third party companies that if there's any like third party game announcement that pertains to like Nintendo, go ahead and just do it on your own because they're not gonna have a direct. That's the rumor. And this rumor's already been like corroborated with like two other people. I think like Eurogamer and VentureBeat. Those are like the two main groups that have said stuff about it. So more than likely it's probably true or has a high chance of being true. And it's not surprising. Obviously it's a shame, but it's not fucking surprising because well the reality is that we already knew a lot of companies got fucked over. We already had a bunch of game delays in the form of Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima and Cyberpunk and fucking Marvel's Avengers and the VR and the Iron Man VR game. Like we already had a bunch of damn delays anyway. And it's not like there aren't games coming out for Switch. They're just not new games. Like Catherine Full Body comes out in July. Borderlands, the Burnout remake or remaster, the Bioshock collection, Xenoblade. It's not and Shantae. It's not like we won't have things to play. It just won't be anything new from Nintendo themselves. I hope Nintendo will at least cut out some trailers. Oh, that I agree with that. At least we should get some trailers, even if we don't get like confirmed release dates. I think because right now Nintendo fans already were having issues with the lack of content and the lack of news in general. So throwing out a couple of trailers, even if the date isn't definite or the release date isn't there yet, just letting us know that these games exist and these are games you should be excited for, will work out. Now, luckily, Animal Crossing has now literally come out the best time. And I think it's already been officially confirmed that Animal Crossing New Horizon is the best-selling Switch game in Japan. I don't know in general, but I know in Japan it beat Smash Brothers, so now it's the best-selling Switch game. Animal Crossing is very much on its Fire Emblem shit right now, where it's just making money hand over fist, and you ain't gonna stop that train whatsoever. But if you ask me how I really feel about it, like I'm bummed out that we're not gonna get a direct. See, my birthday's in June. My birthday is June 16th. So like half of the cool part about my birthday is that like my birthday usually landed around the same week as E3. So I would take the week off of E3 and like on my birthday usually is when Nintendo's Direct happens. So I got to enjoy Nintendo's Direct usually around my birthday and like it was kind of a cool, light, low key birthday present. I just won't be able to do that this year. But since there's already been like announcements of like I think Jeff Keighley's doing something throughout the entire summer. We already got notifications that they're supposed to be. Whoops, I was shaking my foot and didn't realize it was shaking the whole goddamn desk. We already got notifications. I think this week we're supposed to be getting some PS4 game announcements and then also some Xbox One Series X game announcements. So we'll see how that goes. Uh, the boring ass game showed out more than Smash Brothers. Seriously, at least in Japan. I don't know about in America, but in Japan, yeah, definitely. Uh, Animal Crossing is just a different kind of game, but that's kind of the beauty of Nintendo games in general. They all hit differently. Like you're still getting something. It just may not hit you the same way it hit someone else. But damn, there's like 3 or 4 other types of games you can choose from. Boom, and you'll find something that you right. I don't mind this being Animal Crossing's year because Animal Crossing kind of got its like uh didn't start getting its true love until the 3DS era. It feels like so I like that it's continuation now. It's come like full circle. Oh hey, what's up, Orion Sword? So yeah, Animal Crossing's doing its thing and it's cool. It's a shame that we're not gonna get, especially with all these rumors that we're gonna get a bunch of Mario games. I guess that's the other thing that bothers me. That like with all this rumor, well, Mohammed, I don't know what games you're playing on Switch, but there's like a bunch of games you could be playing. Also, like I said, at the end of this month, there's like 6 or 7 games coming out at once. Now, granted, I think that's bad marketing, but realistically, Nintendo doesn't have any competition until like mid June. Like that's when I think was it is it Ghost? No, it's when Last of Us comes out. Last of Us 2 comes out in mid June. So like Nintendo literally has that last week of May and then like the next in the early weeks of June with no real competition. And considering all the drama that has been going on with The Last of Us 2, I don't think that's going to be that much of a concern. The only thing that's going to undercut Nintendo is these 2 events that are happening soon for Microsoft and Sony, where they're supposed to be revealing some new games. And they better be some real games and not no fucking, what I like to call like new gen games. Also, thank you for the donation, Sora-san, you crazy bastard. Here's my donation for the day. I'm so glad you had a break. You had some more sessions. But I appreciate the support, Sora-san. You never, like I said, you never have to donate, but I appreciate when you do. That's the way I look at it. It's gonna be outsold by Breath of the Wild. Well, that's potential. We'll see. That depends on when we get it, when we get Breath of the Wild 2, and how the industry looks during that time. But Nintendo's still chilling. Like financially, Nintendo's still chilling, in the sense of they don't have anything to challenge them. I mean, Soccer Wars just came out on PlayStation 4 last week, but Soccer Wars is a niche title. A lot of the heavy hitting games that were supposed to come out uh, fucking got pushed back. And then in the granted, now we might see more footage from some of these games during these events, but like, oh, what's up, AJT 500? I think this is the first stream I've seen you in. Yeah, about to say, as an RPG guy, you chilling. You chilling like a motherfucking villain. Also, Lightning, you weren't in here when I said it, so I'm gonna repeat it just so you hear it. Thank you for the Street Fighter 5 gift, for these Injustice 2, for the Street Fighter Cross Tekken, for the Batman collection, and for the Ghost Simulator games on Steam. I appreciate it. And like I said before, if you want to play with me in those games on Steam, add me on my friend code. I'll post it again in there. Yeah. I'm repeating it just so he hears me this time. Oh wait, that's the Vlaire thing. I was gonna put my fucking friend code back in here. The Vlaire thing is if for a new video, but that's not what I need to post in here. And this is my friend code on Steam if you want to add me. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I'll watch these after they go up, but I never been here on time. Well, you finally got in here. Congratulations. Everyone wave to AJT. Make him feel welcome. Him or her. I'm not sure which. Because of gender. Because, you know, you don't want to be out here misgendering people. That's how you go to jail. Everyone welcome AJT. All right, but so yeah, it's not like Nintendo's gonna fall off the fucking off the damn cliff. I probably could. I probably would just have to put it on a lower setting since everything would be going through the PC. So like I couldn't stream those at like 1440 or 4K like I can play them. Okay, it is him. All right. I couldn't tell the damn chibi I think the image you have looks like an anime girl, and I know a lot of dudes who have anime girl profiles, but that's besides the point. uh but yeah, I'm pretty sure I can stream. I'm gonna try. I haven't tried the stream PC games yet. I think the last time I tried was with Tomb Raider, so I might try again later just to see if I can do it. I'm not good at Street Fighter. I want that to be stated. So like, I have no pride whatsoever about being good at Street Fighter. What's up, Julian? How you doing, bro? But like I was saying before, Nintendo's not really hurt in terms of like mind share. Nintendo literally has been killing it, I think, all year, even not having that many like mainline releases come out. MPD, they're still out here making hand over fist. And as soon as fucking Animal Crossing came out, there was no chance in hell they were going to fall off the top, all right? And like I said, they got like 6 or 7 games coming out at the end of the month. Now, granted, all of them are all like old games, but as we've learned, yeah, I do have Ultra Street Fighter 4. That was the irony. When you bought me Street Fighter 5, I had literally just bought like the week before Ultra Street Fighter 4 because me and TSS were playing around with it. So it's funny. I recommend you get the early version of Soccer Wars. It has some net bones. The early version? Some net bones? What do you mean by net bones? If you can clarify, Sad. Yeah, you on time. Yeah, we might as well get into the Sony situation. Now, I need to give you guys some context before we get into this. If you have not heard, and you probably have if you've been following any of this Last of Us nonsense, when the leaks came out and the footage was leaked, obviously Sony did what you would expect any publisher to do. They started striking down any channel that had footage or images of the leaks. That's understandable because the game isn't out yet, so I can understand that. But they also have been striking down channels that talk about it. They've been striking down channels like a motherfucker that are even talking about this, regardless regardless if I show footage or not, which I wasn't planning to anyway. I'm gonna tell you in advance. The only reason why this thing won't, I'm probably not gonna reference Last of Us in any way, shape, or form in this video. Not in the thumbnail. I probably won't even put it in the tags. And the reason why is because Sony's out here fucking flagging and striking channels, abusing YouTube systems for anyone talking about the game. You don't even have to show footage. If you're critiquing what you've seen of the game, guess the fuck what? You are at risk of having your channel striked. So I'm not going to reference Sony in the sense of like any descriptive tags. There won't be any tags. There won't be nothing in the title. There won't even be anything in the fucking thumbnail. Because if I do, then there's a high chance my channel will get taken down. So I'm not going to do any of that. We're still going to fucking talk about it because fuck that. So, all right. So let's see. Personally, I don't buy Sony's hacking story as somewhat a degree of information security now. Yeah. So, all right. So give the context. Show images The Last of Us 2. I am looking forward to this game. You can't show any. Oh, please don't show. Okay. I wasn't going to show images, but I am going to talk about some of the spoilery material. So if you don't want to hear about the spoilery material, what I'll do is I'll give a hand sign so you can like mute the stream and I'll do this. When you see me do this, that means we are done talking about Last of Us 2 stuff, and you can turn the audio back up. So The next time you see me do this on like this, you'll know that we're done talking about Last of Us 2. So if you don't want to hear anything about Last of Us 2 related spoilers, because I don't give a fuck about the game because I didn't care about the first game. Just know, wait for this sign. When you see this sign, that's how you know we're done. So if you're gonna mute your shit, go ahead, mute it now. We'll give it a second for people to mute it now. I'm waiting a little bit just to give people a chance to, if they don't want to hear spoilers, they don't have to. I think we're ready. I think that's enough time. I think we're good. All right, I think we're good. So here's the situation. Originally, what essentially was going on is that The Last of Us 2 got leaked supposedly by an angry employee. An angry employee who wasn't getting paid supposedly fucking said, fuck you, Naughty Dog, and Sony, I'm going to release it anyway. Now, Sony has, I think Naughty Dog slash Sony have come out and said something along the lines of, nah, we know who leaked it. It wasn't that. It was a hacking situation. You still look stupid no matter which way you go about it. Because if you say you were hacked, that just means you're incompetent. If you say it was a disgruntled employee, that means you're fucking terrible. You guys are managing your fucking studio terribly. And so here's the situation. A bunch of the footage, I think the level list came out, and some major important story beats came out, and it just fucking ruined everybody's day. Absolutely ruined everybody's day. If you were excited for the game, you probably aren't excited anymore. Or if you were excited for the game, you probably don't like the direction the game is going. And then there were already rumors and discussions going around that Naughty Dog wasn't treating like they had a terrible work environment in general. And then to see the game, and then I think the game got bought by like HBO, and people had started noticing that like the HBO was changing things, but the reality was it wasn't that fucking. Uh, it wasn't HBO changing things. It was HBO using the new script from this game, from the second game, and that's what's created this terrible fucking situation. That you essentially have a game that went from being like very emotionally engaging and very satisfying gameplay to essentially a woke-a-thon. Let me show you, dear customer, how woke we truly are. Some of those fucking characters, I'm gonna be real with you. They showed some character designs for like new characters, one of which I think you'll be playing as, and one of which who is very controversial just because of the information we know about her. And it's like, bro, that is not a woman. I don't even think at this point I can't even tell that's a female. We're still doing that thing where we can't make good-looking females in video games because it's not realistic, as if sexy or like physically appealing women don't exist in the real world. What I'm talking about here is baseline shit. This isn't even the worst part. The worst part is something what happens to certain main characters from the original game. Some fucking nonsense with level listings. And we're not even talking about game design. This is like all story problems, which is a main issue because, of course, in modern Sony gaming, we don't give a fuck about level design. You know what we care about? Our storytelling, which this is a case of it backfiring on you. Because if the story sucks, people will automatically dismiss your game without even playing the game. The game can still mechanically be fun as hell. No one gives a shit. Want to know why? Because you put this woke ass dumb shit. And I think what Sony doesn't understand is that when you sit there and you admit to your incompetence, which is what they did, and then you start going around and striking channels for talking about it, not even showing footage or linking to footage or pictures or anything, but people who are literally just talking about it, it not only makes you seem guilty as fuck, but it literally confirms what people were already saying about you, which is that you were out here censoring motherfuckers to say the things they want to say, which is the main problem people seem to have with the recent leaks with The Last of Us 2, and it essentially being a woke ass game that nobody fucking wanted. And you're just like, I have no interest in this shit. That game went from being the PlayStation 4 swan song to a fucking train wreck. And it's crazy that Naughty Dog is about to go under like a motherfucker. Now, I'm not going to say this is the end of that company or whatever, or that studio, but it definitely is not going to end well in any way, shape, or form. And it's primarily because Sony is too fucking stubborn. Naughty Dog has terrible fucking management. They've let the extreme left, dictate way too much in the gaming industry, and they took the worst inspirations you could take from like fucking Anita Sarkeesian. That all this shit has just gone so far in the wrong direction. Guess what? Now you have to pay with the game that you wanted. You ain't getting it. You ain't getting it. You ain't getting it. So let me read some of the comments. Sony is claiming that someone used code from a patch to Uncharted to hack The Last of Us, to then hack Naughty Dog's development servers, then to steal the development build to play the leak, which were done on dev kits. That is some elaborate shit. That means, like I said, that was the problem when you came out with this fucking like response. You're essentially either saying you're too fucking incompetent to hide your fucking like under wraps footage and gameplay, or you treat your workers like shit. So either way you roll the dice, you will not come out as a king on this bitch. You're getting snake eyes either way. Neil was the lead and is mostly doing this. Well, and that's the problem. The other problem is we already knew about certain people from Naughty Dog leaving. So the people you would have wanted to see succeed just said, "Fuck it, I'm getting out before the Titanic hits the goddamn iceberg." If I'm gonna lose, I'm not gonna lose while being on the ship. I'll lose getting off the ship. The first Last of Us came as a bundle when I got my PS4, and I stubborn played it. And so I'm not interested in the game to begin with. That's why I don't really care about spoilers. Yeah, see, like that's the whole thing. Like, no matter how they spun the whole how did the footage get out, you're gonna look dumb and stupid either way. But what makes it worse is that everything is pretty much confirmed, and a lot of people don't want to play the game now because there's another one of those. And it also seems stupid because you're appealing to a demographic that doesn't play games. This is the same shit people had issues with when they start putting gay and trans people as like forefronts in games all of a sudden to like prove that they were like inclusive and shit. But like, we knew you weren't doing it because you thought it made sense as a character. We know you did it for the inclusion and then built a character around it later, and you can tell because of how poorly those games were written. And we're like, bro, why do this considering those people are such a small demographic? The money you lose from fans who don't want to subscribe to that bullshit and don't want politics in their fucking games, those are the people, you rather lose those people than gain the one or two people who are like, this is a trans-friendly game. And you're like, bitch, that's not why I played the game anyway. I played it to blow the head off of some pseudo-zombies and to have an interesting emotional story between a father-daughter-like combo. What the flying fuck? What in the flying fuck? And see, that's my problem. And that's really what it boils down to. You got somebody in the wrong fucking position making too many goddamn shots. And because of how he's been brainwashed or the way he thinks, he's essentially dictating what the rest of the company has to put up with, regardless if the company agrees with it or not. And then there's like I've heard there's reports of lack of professionalism, and there's no like respect or common decency. That the whole Last of Us situation has gone to shit. Last of Us 2, in terms of being like the PS4 swan song, next to Ghost of Tsushima is turned into shit, which means a lot of people are now concerned moving forward what kind of games you're gonna get from Naughty Dog, because they've essentially lost like their better players, their like senior development staff, and now you just got a bunch of fucking people who either hate their job but still need the money, or fucking subscribe to the same woke ass nonsense that people can't stand in Last of Us 2. It's one of the reasons. Once I found that out, it's one of the reasons why I said I wasn't overly concerned about Nintendo not having a lot of games in the summer, because like the only game in the summer right now that really poses a problem in any form is fucking Ghost of Tsushima, which is a game we still haven't seen barely any fucking footage of. So it's crazy, yo. We play games to escape from the real world. Exactly. Type sad. As much as people classify Sony as having the best first party games, most of them barely have any input from players, and that's my issue with Sony in general. That Sony's become more of a movie making game design. That's the design they go for, is like a cinematic experience, which has its own like crock of shit that you have to deal with, and I don't think is worth the financial investment. But people still like those kind of games. That's why it's like, all right, they still like them, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna put up with, because why the fuck not? And I'm just like, you haven't learned a goddamn thing, have you, Sony? But it's fine. What's gonna take for a certain, like I say in a lot of situations in life, sometimes you gotta bust your ass before you realize you're doing something wrong. And Sony's way of busting their ass is gonna be this game underperforming. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Developers and companies who listen to these feminists is the reason why they're falling apart. Exactly. I just find it kind of dumb. The problem I have with the Ghost of Tsushima stuff is that Ghost of Tsushima has been announced for like at least 2 years. Oh yeah, I'm not done with the spoiler talk. That's why I haven't done the sign yet. Um, Someone let them know in the chat I'm not done talking about Last of Us. I mean, I can get into now. I can get into like specifics because I've been pretty tame about, but I already gave the warning, so I'm assuming I can just go ahead and talk about it. You got some. You got killing of characters who are very important. You got female characters. The murderer of that character being one of the playable characters. A bunch of the fucking villains of the game being like uh overly fanatical Christians or Catholics who hate homosexuals. Like, this shit is, it's not like, here's the thing, games can make statements. I don't think games are not above making political statements, but this shit is so much over the head with all this fucking nonsense. It's like, bro, this isn't subtle at all. You couldn't even play the game and not look at all the fucking commentary you're doing, especially from a development studio where a lot of people don't agree with that mindset. A lot of people don't agree with that choice, and that's part of the problem. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But like I said, people won't fucking think about it until it's too fucking late. But hey, that's what it is. That's what it is. Which is crazy in its own right, but people don't fucking care. Is there anything else we need to talk about so Static can come back and listen to the rest of the cast? Because realistically, I don't think there is. I just want to make sure. I was letting the anime rapper know. Because realistically, it's Sony shooting themselves in the foot to such a ridiculous degree. They gonna legit pay for it, and they gonna have to take that fucking L. That's what's gonna have to happen. And that's it. That's really what it is. So I think that's really all we need to say. To be real about you with The Last of Us 2. That they done fucked up, and now they're gonna have to deal with the consequences. Whatever they're gonna get, they're gonna get what they deserve. Um, yeah, I think that's it. So I'm gonna end that part of the Yeah, that's it. So we're gonna end that part of the conversation. So Static, you can come back in. We're Gucci. I think we're good. I think we're good. So I'm gonna do this for a second, so he knows that we're Gucci. So if you want to come back in, turn the audio back on. We're Gucci. No more Last of Us talk. It's more me just ranting than anything. That wasn't really much of a talk as much as it was me just annoyed with some shit. Look at the screen, Static. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Oh my goodness. All right, we're good. We're Gucci. Um, so Soro-san, we already answered the question about the striking of channels, which is an abuse of the system. So we're not gonna go over that. How do you feel about the rumor of a Houston Direct not happening? Which I already talked about that, so we got that out of the way. But thank you, Orion Sor, for the question anyway. I hope that nothing happens to you like geeks in games because of this. We'll see. We will see. I see it. I was playing Halo. Okay, all right, cool. We're Gucci then. Um. Oh, the real Condoriano, which is I love the One Piece references. Why do so many Japanese developers just give Sony a free give give Sony free exclusives? Persona, Nier Automata, Neo, etc., etc. What do they gain by not releasing their games on Xbox, PC, or Nintendo day one with PlayStation? So it all usually depends on two things. Usually the power of the console and the success of the console. Let's be real here. The reason why PlayStation still gets certain privileges is it was the most successful of the three consoles back in like 2013. In 2013, the Wii U wasn't doing well at all. The Xbox wasn't doing well at all. And usually it was around that time that they start developing the games, or they were at least in talks about developing the games. And financially, it makes way more sense to put it on the console that has the biggest install base. It did come out on Xbox later on, but that was after the fact. Sony ended up getting priority because at least when it comes to Japanese games, Sony usually sells those titles better. I think that was part of the reason, at least for the reason why Xbox didn't get them, is because Sony tends to sell those titles better. Two, there's usually some type of deal made, whether it's Sony paying the third party company a certain amount of money or whatever. It's actually usually easier to develop for one console versus three anyway. So it's usually a financial thing. Sony was in the lead. Sony didn't have any real competition, and Sony was the most powerful. So Sony had like the full power play in the early days. Now they don't necessarily have the same financial uh, giant foot they had on the other two's necks, especially with Nintendo and Switch. Nintendo's now playing catch up, but it works out for a lot of third parties because that means they can just put like low tier ass ports on Switch to not only feel out the market but make like quick easy money without making like a brand new game. Yeah, and Trite, you're 100% correct. People like to pretend like Sony was out here doing like uh people sitting here talking like Sony did such a great presentation in 2013. Sony did the bare minimum. They talked about the console, they talked about a couple of games, and they came out with some features and a graphical showcase. The reason why Sony ran away with the generation early was because Nintendo fucked up on its own marketing and games, and so did Xbox. Nintendo and Microsoft's fuck up is what allowed Sony to quote unquote dominate. But Sony didn't do anything to really justify you using the term look at Sony out here dominating the competition. Hell, most of Sony's big hitting games didn't even come out until like a year or two later, which was the same problem Nintendo and Xbox had. But the difference was is that PlayStation already had a strong third-party backing from the previous gen, and they did have some first-party games that do garner attention and respect and love. Nintendo literally, I think, have the problem, which is the way they push their console. And once they got into a groove with the Switch, they chilling now. They fucking chilling. It's not like Nintendo's out here dominating, but like Nintendo, it seems like Nintendo's dominating because Sony's in the latter end and Xbox never got its shit together. It kind of just got better, but it never became like amazing. Like, oh, we got the ports of games we should have got early in the generation, but like we didn't get any great new games on Xbox. So half of the reason why is that Japanese will never put shit on Xbox because Xbox doesn't sell Japanese shit well. Just to double check, we can go look to see what Nier sold on fucking damn it. What Nier sold on Xbox. Damn it. God damn it. This always happens. That's what you bring 2 drinks. Damn it, it's not gone. That's not how you spell Nier. I don't even think they have the sales for Nier. No, they don't. They don't even have the sales for Nier, so we don't even know how much it sold. I know that like Nier sold 2.2 million on PlayStation, but we don't know what the fuck it sold on Xbox One. Use a cotton swab and rub the top of the part of the inside of your mouth. That always works. I have never heard of that. I don't even know why that would work. Unfortunately, some Xbox players don't get these due to the Xbox being considered a Western console and the shitty companies releasing shitty games. No, I wouldn't even say that. Is it time for the cameo for everyone's favorite mom? She shouldn't be doing it tonight anyway, so I don't think that's gonna happen. Just gonna throw it out here. Are you looking at the first one or the second Nier? I'm looking at the second Nier. Because the other ones don't have financials next to them. I was looking at Automata. Oh no, we're good. We're good. We're good as far as hiccups. Xbox. This was the gen I feel like they tried the most pushing Japanese games, but the damage is already done, and they're not offering anything that you can't get on PlayStation. I guess that's the main problem. It actually gives rid of the hiccup. Not joking. That's crazy. That just sounds ridiculous to me. Anyways, they're gone anyway. But yeah, I think that's like the main core of the problem is that like the reason why they picked PlayStation is because PlayStation has a better overall relationship with Japanese companies. Usually, it tends to have the more powerful system. Um, and then has better relations, especially compared to Xbox. With Nintendo usually has weaker consoles, and that usually creates more of a problem in terms of development. Also, usually PlayStation ends up having a higher installer base most of the time. So like Nintendo may not be bad, and that's why Nintendo gets some Japanese games. But like that's also the reason why PlayStation gets a lot of Japanese games too. Now they kind of burned a little bit of their bridges with all this censorship nonsense, but we'll see what happens. The hiccups just like Kaido. That's crazy. Y'all are savages. So yeah, that's the gist of that conversation. What are your thoughts on Evo being online this year? People are freaking out about the lack of Nintendo Direct. How do you feel about the announcement and what do you expect? Kind of already talked about the Nintendo Direct stuff, so there's no point in going back over that source on. As far as Evo being online, it's a necessary compromise, but people aren't going to be happy about it because that means they're going to be playing against lag, and nobody wants to fucking deal with lag. But that's what's going to have to happen. So I imagine that just means Evo this year is going to be kind of a wash, where people are going to be like, eh, like I imagine the indifference to Evo matches this year will be a lot higher, only because they're playing online, because they know it could be because of some bullshit that they lost the match. Like when you're watching Evo and it's like pure like I'm sitting next to you and we're both our shit is hardwired into the console and we're playing the fucking match. That's pure skill at that point. There should not be any issue of whether or not that's the internet or lag switching or any of that shit. That is all pure, unadulterated skill. So, needless to say, when this Evo comes and we get this fucking like this, I don't know what to call it, like this online tourney, it'll be okay. But no one's gonna take like no one's gonna. This is not the year people will be talking about like levels of skill. Like this is not gonna happen. You can still get some good online matches, but they will never beat like in person tourneys. It just won't. And that's the problem. So let me delete that. And then Lightning has another question. What third party companies do you think are trash and deserves the criticism on their piss poor games in the past generations? Let's see. Konami ain't shit, but I think everyone's kind of come to terms with that Konami ain't shit. Konami ain't shit. Capcom wasn't shit during PlayStation and Xbox generation. Like in terms of a company, they could go eat a dick because they literally. It's like when you think about the games that they had out in the 360, PS3, and Wii era. You got. I don't think Okami just got ported. Resident Evil 4 came out, and then on the GameCube generation, and Resident Evil 5 and 6 are looked at as inferior games, so Resident Evil fans weren't happy. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was a disappointment. Street Fighter 4 was an abused ass game with a cheap ass rebuying system. Um, those are like their main ones. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any other IPs. Bandai was still Bandai wasn't Bandai. I think Bandai's the worst in this gen than they were last year, personally. Like Bandai, this gen has been a lot worse than they were during the PS3 360. They weren't great, but they weren't terrible. In my opinion. Like Bandai was a lot worse this gen than they were last gen. Capcom has gotten better this gen, but did not start out well this gen. Who else? Square hasn't been like inherently amazing. It's weird. Square double A budget titles are great. Square big budget is garbage. Square hasn't been good big budget wise in years. I would argue they still aren't good big budget wise, but that's a whole different opinion. Um, Square. Who else am I missing? I'm trying to think of the major ones. Ubisoft, I think was better last gen than they were this gen. This gen was they're kind of like Capcom, where they started out this gen pretty bad and then kind of got better ish, but not like I would still say they're below Capcom in terms of improving themselves. Like I would say Capcom has done the most improvement of the new gen, but fucking Man, fucking Ubisoft did not have their shit together. EA has been trash. EA has been trash. Square improving a little bit. They only Square is one of those companies that I enjoy their double A efforts. I don't trust their triple A efforts at all. Square, it was more so that like if they released double A games, I barely had any problems with them. The moment we got like a Final Fantasy 15 or Final Fantasy 13 verses and shit, well, that's what I'm saying. Well, Nier, I don't give them that much. Nier, they just own the IP for. Like Nier is platinum, just like fucking they have the IP of Tomb Raider, but like that's Crystal Dynamics. That's not fucking Square. Koei Tecmo is about the same as they've always been. Koei Tecmo, you know what got worse was DOA. DOA fucking got worse only because they thought, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna abuse the fuck out of this model. As much as we possibly can, we're going to abuse the fuck out of this model. And I'm mad because DOA is a cool franchise that got shot in the foot. I would argue Sony got worse and less experimental. In a lot of ways, I mean, if you're thinking from the like, if you go from the Wii 360 and Xbox, Wii 360 and PS3 to the Wii U / Switch, PS4 and Xbox One, Xbox got way fucking worse. I don't give a fuck what anyone tells you. Xbox got way worse, and they were already on the way out the door towards the end of the 360 generation. And man, did that quality of games did not improve. You got like one or two titles that were really good, but they weren't even Xboxes in the sense of like them making it. It was like a third party company that was making those games. And it was like, fuck. And most of those games are fucking third party now. Sunset Overdrive, PC. Cuphead, Switch, PC. Ori, Switch, PC. Then the second Ori comes out on fucking the second Ori is out on PC. Killer Instinct, PC. Oh yeah, fucking Ninja Gaiden. You prefer DOA 1 through 4 art style over 5 and 6? What is DOA? I'm trying to remind myself what DOA 4 even looked like. Because I don't have a problem with DOA, their art style. I have a problem with the DLC practices. That's my problem with fucking DOA. The DOA doesn't understand proper, like, charging their customer shit. Let's just check DOA 4. Because it's been a while since I looked at DOA 4. I watched DOA 3 more than DOA 4. Why are they revisiting DOA?
So,
I mean, DOA 4 just, it don't look bad by any means. It's just the way it is. I don't really know how else to describe DOA. I don't mind DOA's art style though. Yeah, DOA looks fine either way. 4 or 5 or 6. I think DOA 5 and 6 looked a little bit more realistic, but that's it. You can say Square and Platinum Games did make sequels more popular. Yeah, that's why I say I don't really give Square the same praise for that because that was more Platinum that made Nier Automata such a successful game. It was fucking Platinum. Uh, Now, if we were to sit there and argue about like Nintendo and Sony, I think got worse. And Nintendo, if I go back to the Wii had Punch Out. The Wii had some of the third party weird Japanese games. But you had Punch Out. You had the Mario Galaxy titles. You had Metroid Prime 3. You had Zelda, Ocarina. No, not Ocarina. Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. You had the Punch Out. You had. I don't know if they've gotten better or worse. I'm actually conflicted with that one. I think Nintendo at the worst is probably maintain consistency, and in some ways have gotten better. It's a weird situation to put them in, but I would say Nintendo was at the worst consistent, at the best was pretty fucking has actually gotten better, but that's all debatable. That's all debatable. So I'm not like staking a claim on that, but I would say Nintendo was probably the most consistent between the big three. Xbox got worse, and Xbox got worse 100%, and Sony got worse, but to a lesser margin, not by a huge margin. Like Sony's issue is more of output. Yeah, like that's the whole thing with Nintendo. Like I wouldn't say like if we're talking about game releases, I don't think. Yeah, 343 I know has their own problems. I can see what you're saying, Lightning though. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. I think you put in another question, didn't you? Let's see. Let's check around. Do you think any art JRPG or any other top anime style games that never had any anime adaptations will ever get an anime adaptation? It's up to the publisher. It's up to like the IP holder. Like when it comes to Nintendo IPs, are like the ones I would like certain anime adaptations to happen quicker than later. Those have a low chance because I don't know what the fuck Nintendo plans to do. Nintendo doesn't really look like they're overly interested in anime adaptations. I would like them, but I don't think they're overly interested in them. I mean, that's their prerogative. If they don't want to do them, they don't have to do them. Other companies like Atlas, it's a high chance we'll probably get anime adaptations of future Persona titles, which whether or not that's a great thing depends because the animation usually isn't great or it usually seems like wonky as fuck. Persona 4 and Persona 5's anime had those problems. Persona 5 was more egregious with it, 100%. Fucking insane. What else? What else? What else? Most companies have really kind of stayed away from that medium in general. I wouldn't mind, like, even like Street Fighter that did have an anime adaptation. Capcom used to do more like anime related stuff with their games. I think a lot of companies have just stepped away from that medium. So I'd be curious if anyone else besides Atlas is willing to take a dive in that. That Atlas is probably like Sega. So we'll see. But I'm not like counting. I'm not betting on it. That's what I'll say as far as that's concerned. It's just yeah. Yeah. So how long have I been going for? So we do have some E3 stuff to look forward to. E3 like stuff to look forward to in the coming weeks. So we'll see how that goes. They also just fucking announced, Octopath is on Stadia, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla was announced, and will launch for PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia. So pretty much everything but Switch. Deadly Premonition 2 comes out in July. What else? What else? I'm scrolling to see if I missed anything else of note. We already talked about Evo briefly. SpongeBob got a new trailer, which looks great. We got the Summer Game Fest, which will cover this whole summer. We got a bunch of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition footage. At this point, I'm just waiting for the game to come out. Inside Xbox Series X gameplay that's set for the 7th, which I believe is Thursday. Yeah, so this Thursday we'll get the Xbox information, possibly no Nintendo Direct. Burnout Paradise remastered on Switch is on June 19th. Streets of Rage released. Streets of Rage 4 released Friday, and everyone seems to be loving it. Little Town Heroes PS4 and physical edition delayed until June 23rd. Darkborn is no longer in development. Oh, Oddworld's Munch's Odyssey comes on Switch next week. Not this week coming, but the week after next. Comes out on the 14th. I'm just scrolling down real quick to make sure I haven't missed anything. Um, Animal Crossing selling like gangbusters. Oh yeah, we got all a bunch of Stadia stuff. So like Octopath is for Stadia, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds for Stadia, skateboarding game for Stadia first. EA's having a relationship with Stadia, whichever that means. Means a bunch of bullshit technically, but I'm not gonna say that. And I think that's it, other than Indivisible being available on Switch now. So I think that's it. Revolver, at least you got your pogs in. That's all I'm gonna say. But I think we really covered all the related news and whatnot. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. We got some ranting out of the way and some emotions about various things that I don't have to go over again. Thank you for the donation, Sorosan. Thank you for those who added me on Steam. So if you want to play some matches and kick my ass in Street Fighter, you are 100% allowed to do that. What else? What else? What else? We talked about that game that will not be in the description or title of this video. So if anyone wants to know about my Last of Us 2 related thoughts about the leaks and shit, point them to this video, but it will primarily be focused on the like I'm gonna more title this based around the Nintendo Direct stuff so that copyright doesn't fuck me, but it could, but it doesn't need to, but it might. And also if my channel disappears, you know what the fuck happened. It was not fucking good. But with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. I think I might try to do Final Fantasy tonight. So keep your eyes peeled on Twitch. I think Tyrone's supposed to be streaming tonight too. I think Tyrone's streaming his Monster Hunter World. So I'll see. If you want to follow him on there, Tyrone the God 3. Is it Tyrone the God 3? Is there, I forget. I always fuck up the Twitch name. The Twitch name is never the same thing. I think it's either Tyrone the God 3 underscore TG3 or Tyrone TG3. Let me make sure. That's the YouTube, damn it. Oh, wait, no, he links his Twitch in there. Yeah, it's just Tyrone the God 3. All right, cool, we're good. So, yeah, Tyrone the God 3. I don't know if he's streaming tonight. If he is, I might wait until he's done and then do my stream. I haven't decided yet. Juice is loose tomorrow. Terminator Juice is the channel. That one's in the description, so I don't need to repost that. Time the last of Manic episodes. Yeah, he plays it on PS4. He's playing it on PS4. They're still removing videos that talk about it. I'm just not gonna, like I said, the way I'm gonna do it is that I'm not gonna put any information about it in the title or description. So I'm hoping, unless they actually scrub through the video and doing some audio checks, they won't know. If this does get taken down and I get a strike, you will know. It will be posted on Twitter, and I will be very angry. I would like to say this channel won't get taken down, but we'll see what happens. We will 100% see what happens. But Harry out, you're late. How dare you? And there'll be a new video on the anime channel later on this week. I've already uploaded on Vlare, but in case you don't want to go to Vlare, it'll be on the YouTube channel in a few days. And I'm still uploading stuff on the Patreon. So if you want to follow and support me on Patreon, you're still getting like live reactions to Pokemon stuff and then other anime reviews. They got taken down. I'm actually re-uploading the Snafu reviews on I'm gonna start uploading the Snafu season 1 reviews on Patreon because they got taken down on YouTube due to the fact that they have footage in them. It's an episode review, but that was back when I was doing that Crunchyroll partnership, and because that shit's no longer valid, they literally just start taking all those down. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. It's been your boy, the insane gang freak, and I will catch you guys later. Peace. Oh, Perry out. We need you here physically. Fuck that spirit shit. Do I look like I'm dead to you? No. How am I gonna have the pure-hearted trolling with some Madaka fan service in the corner? How can I get it if you ain't here? Hashtag Kudra is best Kurakami. That's besides the point. I'm out, bitch. Later days.